All right, what's going on everybody? Today's video, we're gonna give you an overview into the power window conversion and what components you need to do so on your E-body Mopar. Now, this is something, of course, in the past, if you wanted to do, you needed to scavenge swap meets, junkyards, eBay, wherever to try and find original components. Well, now you don't have to worry about that anymore because almost all of the components are reproduced. And so that's what we're gonna go over today is what hardware you need to order in order to do a complete power window conversion for your E-body Mopar. I will go ahead and put links in the description below for all of these components so that way you can just go through, click and order them yourselves. Now, the first thing you gotta do, of course, is get the power window kit itself. Now, the one that I ordered was from XV Motorsports, and it ended up being drop shipped directly from New Relic, so I'm not sure if the one from XV is any different than the one that New Relic offers directly, but that's how it worked out. So it is possible that XV Motorsports could have New Relic's tweak it a little bit for their order specifically, that I'm not totally certain on, so keep that in mind, take that for a grain of salt. I did order through XV Motorsports and it was directly drop shipped from New Relics. Now the kit from New Relics is pretty complete. It comes with everything, all the regulators you need. This whole box is all the regulators, the harnesses. Does not come with these switches here. These are reproduction Mopar switches. It actually, unfortunately, comes with these GM style switches, which are smaller than the Mopar ones and kind of plastic, kind of cheap, and is a dead giveaway that you did an aftermarket conversion for the power windows. So that's the next part you need to do, of course, is get correct Mopar power window switches. And these just recently, last 2 or 3 years, I think it was, finally came available from OER. And I went ahead, of course, ordered a set from year one. They look just like the originals, the nice quality metal units, and I'm really happy with them so far. Of course, the back of them is a little different than the ones that come with the kit, but that's to be expected because they're Mopar switches, not GM switches. But that being said, it's a little bit of a wiring difference, not a big deal. And that's though the one tricky part with the conversion for the power windows is the one part that is not available from the aftermarket right now are these little connectors. So these connectors, you put the wires into them and it allows them to connect to the back of the power window switches. Sorry about that little shake there, switching hands. So that part you have to either track down or make your own custom ones or whatever. I was able to track down a set online, did a couple of want ads posted on forums and Facebook and stuff, and had somebody contact me, said they had them, and so I reached out. Sure enough, they did. It cost me about $100 for the complete set of them. Now, it seems like a lot of money for some cheap 50-year-old plastic pieces to attach wires to, but it's all that's available. You gotta pay, unfortunately, is the Mopar tax. There weren't a lot of power window cars available, so it makes it a little bit of a challenge. Now, the good news is the power windows connectors for the passenger door and the 2 rears are a lot more common because they use the same single switch that was in a lot of other vehicles, including Chryslers and things like that. So you can still occasionally at your wrecking yard find those parts. The hard one, of course, is the driver's door, which has the 4-prong, because a lot of the bigger cars that have them usually only have like a 2-prong switch on the driver's door, and so that makes it a little more challenging to find a 4-prong. That being said, it's not impossible. And of course, you can go other routes like going ahead and just crimping the wires to the individual pegs. It's not ideal, but it can get you by. So there are workarounds, but I was able to fortunately find the actual components that I need. And so we're gonna go ahead, of course, in a future video, document the wiring process to convert the connectors on the new harness to fit with the Mopar switches, and I'll have the diagrams and everything in there so that way you can see for yourself what's involved, because it shouldn't be that difficult to go ahead and just line up the wires, put them in the new connectors, and call it a day. All right, of course, this brings us to the last component that you need during this conversion, and that's new door panels. Now, you don't have to switch out the rear quarter panels. on either the Cudas or the Challengers. And then I believe on the Cuda models, you don't have to change the front door panels, but on the Challengers you do. And the reason why you don't on the Cudas or on the backs, the quarters for the Challenger, is because the power window switch goes in the exact same location as the roll-up crank. So you just have to trim it out a little larger in order to fit the power window switch. And they're marked on the back of the panels, so it's easy enough to go ahead and identify how big of a hole you need to cut and where. Now the Challengers, unfortunately, on the driver's door, well, both doors, the power window switch comes out in a different location than the roll-up cranks. So you do need to get a new set of door panels for the Challenger if you're converting to the power windows. So I went ahead, since mine aren't the greatest quality door panels and rear quarter panels, I went ahead and ordered brand new reproductions, and I couldn't be happier with them. They're the injection molded type, not the ones from Palco, which are vacuum formed. So the grain texture, fit and finish is spot on. I mean, you really can't go wrong with these reproduction panels. They are really that great. And what's nice about them is they don't have holes pre-cut in them. So you can go ahead and determine whether you want to make them power windows or roll-up crank windows. So they're a really great product. Unfortunately, my rear quarter panels haven't shipped yet. That's part of the supply chain issue I've been dealing with. I did get the new door panels. So luckily, since I just mentioned that you can go ahead and reuse your rear interior panels, that's what we're gonna go ahead and do in a future video, unless my rear quarter panels show up between now and then. Is we'll go ahead, do the power window conversion, cut the holes out, make them ready for the power windows and accept the power window switches and get all that work buttoned up. So that way, when the new interior panels do show up, I can just swap those out and the power window conversion's already done. So that's an overview of what we're gonna be going through in order to get this car converted to power windows, take this car to the next level. We'll be doing that over the course of the next few weeks, depending on what my schedule looks like and what's going on. But definitely keep an eye out for those. And if you liked today's video, go ahead and smash that like button, because it helps me out with that YouTube algorithm and doesn't cost you guys anything. Same thing for subscribing. Subscription to this channel, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps keep you up to date of all of my future uploads. And as always, guys, I will see you at the next video.